think it's an interesting quote. There's a quote I believe it's from Emmanuel Derman's My Life as a Quant book. And he mentions in the book that, equities are tend to be viewed as like a gambler's paradise of like non-quantitative, seat of the pants kind of industry. And they're not viewed as very quantitative as when you shift into fixed income, because fixed income is very law-based, very data-based. The math works out quite well. And to your point, there's much predictability in that. And I think that is an interesting paradigm because we now see the shift now where everyone feels like the buy side has done this tremendous marketing job. I probably contributed probably to all the movies. Like everybody thinks like the traders and the buy side and the equities teams are like where all the quants are sitting. And like that's where it's at. And I'm looking at like you realize 2007, 2008 was based on legal contracts like CDOs and mortgage defaults, MBS and all that. That was actually all on the fixed income side. But when you ask somebody, what do you want to do when you grow up? How to be a quant? What do you want to do? Investing on the equity side. And you're like scratching your head, like, where is this coming from? But it's an
Yeah.
interesting paradigm of how perception versus reality in that job market is unique. But also how fixed income is it's very complex. I don't think a lot of people give enough credit to that.
Yeah, and I mean, you go to your equity derivatives and they're a lot simpler to think about. You got your Greeks and things like that. But I think the interesting thing is like for equities, we take for granted an order book.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so let me tell you now, like, fixed income doesn't have a centralized order book, not even in really the US, let alone globally. So, and I mean, you can get into it, but like for some government bonds, there are order books, but for corporates mostly, there's not. And if I don't even know where the actual market is today on an instrument, but then I have a third level derivative that isn't as clean as an equity derivative, and I'm trading that daily, like, so then it just starts to be like, all right, so how are buy side institutions even justifying like best execution with like their fiduciary responsibilities, at the portfolio level? Because like, are you just looking at the last transaction that happened 6 months ago when you made that trade and like that's your best X mark? Because that has a lot of implications even at the retail level with your retirement accounts. Like, you
Yeah.
know,